I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team, and welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to bring y'all the latest in the Follow the Money series. Y'all know that I've been doing this for a couple of weeks. I did one on Tisha and Marceau. I also did one on Kimmy and Maurice. And now, today, it is Destiny's turn, child. So I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming through and rocking with me. Make sure that you hit the like button, share the video. If you are not a subscriber, become one. We're about to take a walk down memory lane. Destiny was one of the hardest ones I had to do. Oh my goodness, so far, because her story is, there's so much that is offline, you know what I mean? So if y'all can hear the sound of my voice, let me know by putting your city, your state, your country, your island, your continent, wherever you are from, into the chat, please and thank you. Hey, Linda Gamble, thank you so much for coming through. Linda is a moderator volunteering her time. So say hello to Linda. What is up, Gloria? My friend, what is up, Jacqueline? Hey, hey, hey. Queen T, what's up? Come on in. Annette is letting me know that y'all can hear me from Shreveport, Louisiana. Cool. Cool, y'all. Yes, all opinions are alleged, child. Let me get my banner up. But I actually had to break this down with what I saw on the TV show and what was coming out on social media, things that Destiny has shared in interviews and things like that. So come on in, welcome, welcome, welcome. And she has an interesting story. It didn't play all out on the show. It was given to us in bits and pieces. So her story is very, it's confusing. It gets really crazy if you're not paying attention to everything. But she has an interesting story, and I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it based on the shit that I had an opportunity to see. What's up, Designs and Decor coming in from the East Coast? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Based on what I had an opportunity to see, child, because it's a lot, okay? It is definitely a lot. Come on in, come on in. So yeah. Y'all know, like most people that's grown and have to pay bills and you got a family, all those things, y'all know that money decides if we eat and what we eat. It decides where we sleep, the clothes that we wear on our backs. It decides what schools our children attend, okay, and which doctor can treat us. We'd like to think that everything is fair, but money is what makes everything unfair, okay? Money decides where you go and how you get things done, period. I don't care who you are. And that's why it's always a fight to, make sure that we have the things that we deserve in life. But I am here to talk to y'all about Destiny. I'm here to talk to y'all about Destiny and her story. So let's get into it. Some of y'all may remember, if you are part of the LAMH sector and you follow this show, then a lot of this stuff may sound familiar to you. Let me get my screen up. A lot of this stuff may sound familiar to you, or maybe I'm introducing some new shit. I don't know. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to rewrite history. I'm trying to tell y'all everything put in one bucket. You know what I'm saying? So I got like 85 pages of notes too, by the way. So come on in. You was here earlier today. Yes, I dropped 2 videos earlier today on Wendy Osefo. Wendy. That's another Follow the Money story that I will probably share with y'all in the coming weeks when all of this information comes out. I'll be sharing Wendy's story and a couple of other people's story, like Teresa over there on New Jersey, PK, and Dorit. There's a lot of people that has shared with us a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting because if you follow the money, you follow everything. You know what I mean? But listen, like I said, Destiny's story was probably the most unclear if you weren't following it all over, because a lot of her story was told on social media and not necessarily on the TV show. So I am here to bring y'all all those pieces together. Hit my like button and share the video, please, and thank you. So y'all know this show has been on for 10 seasons at least. And it looks like we're going to go into season 11 in November. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, y'all, let's get into it. I'm going to put Destiny's face up here. Some of y'all may not know all of these things about Destiny, okay? But anyway, so the first time Destiny appears on Love and Marriage Huntsville, it was actually in season 1. She's been there since the very beginning, but y'all may have missed her. I know I did. I know I did. She actually goes over to Melody and Martell's home. That she was invited, her and her ex-husband, her then husband, LaBerrick. They were invited over along with Scott's 1 and 2.0. And I believe they were there because a lot of this is from memory, y'all. Y'all can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I believe they were there to talk about some sort of community event. They were either going to go door to door about voting, or they might have also gotten into some conversations about the comeback group, which LaBerrick wasn't a part of, okay? But when they come in, Destiny is like, really, she's striking. Like her, you know, she's a beautiful girl, but she's very striking. And when she was standing beside LaBerrick, they looked just a little bit square. Do you know what I mean? Come on in. What we know about LB is that, and this was said by both Destiny, Martell, and Melody, is that they were friends since, I guess, Head Start or something. They were both in Head Start or kindergarten together. So they had grew up in Huntsville together. So that's how close they were. Okay. But without even, they were on the show then. So a lot of us missed them. And the first time people remember actually seeing Destiny is a conversation she has with Kimmy. But when in this scene, this first scene, it's actually LB who like gets shit popping. I think he gets into an argument with Marcel. It wasn't really an argument, but a back and forth. And he gets checked, kind of. They made a comment like, well, you're not even a part of the group. You know what I'm saying? So something that had to do with the comeback group. And he gets checked because they tell him that he's not a part of the group. Anyway, when they had first started, I guess Kimmy makes a comment when they're getting introduced, because I don't even think they knew who he was. That's when Kimmy said, oh, you're the chicken man, right? And after that, that's when we get a little more of Destiny. Destiny decided to drag Kimmy by her edges and said, don't ever call him the chicken man. He has a name. But she got upset with Kimmy for that. And that was like a real scene. That's like something that was talked about during that first, like that wrap-up season. The producers came on and the producers was like, we were really like surprised that shit went that left. But Destiny was like threatening to drag Kimmy even then. Okay, come on in, everybody. Hit the like button and share the video. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, I actually forgot that there was a couple of other scenes that they were in first season. There's an event where Melody and Martell are on the front cover of a magazine. Destiny and LaBerrick are in the audience. And I think there was one other scene that happened. I want to say it had to do with Destiny, and I think they were outside trying to get people to vote or something like that. Come on in. Welcome to the chat. Hit the like button. We are talking about following the money for Destiny, okay? So at that time in that first season when they're filming the show, Destiny has shared that she lived in Tennessee. I believe she was a travel agent, or it had something to do with travel. It was a decent paying job, a good paying job with decent benefits, so decent that it offered free fertility treatment for medication and IVF, which is really unheard of. So that was one of the things that Destiny shared as well. But before Destiny ended up on LAMH, she was working at this travel agency. She also had several real estate license, one in, I believe, Huntsville or Alabama, one in Georgia, possibly one in Tennessee. So she had multiple licenses. And she also had some small roles in movies. So she had already been in the movies prior to coming onto the show. She did had a small role in, I think it's called The Dark Knight, and also in the Jackie Robinson story. And she may have also done some sort of commercials as well. Commercials, voiceovers, things like that. So she had been trying to break into the movie industry or television industry before she made it on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. But that was her full-time job. Okay. That was her full-time job while she was trying to break into the industry. And we didn't know a whole lot about her husband at the time, or fiance, other than he had a food truck and they were calling him the, hey, Lady D Keys, and that they were calling him the chicken man. So y'all, I am doing this live for the first time, so please bear with me. But the last couple of videos that I uploaded on YouTube took about an hour and a half. So I said, this one I am going to do live and y'all can just join in the conversation. We are following the money. We're going to talk about exactly what Destiny was doing, how money in her life may have been the downfall, or what happened to bring her up. But right now, we are at the beginning stages when Destiny appeared to have, life on a silver platter. She had a full-time job. She was getting small movie roles. She had several real estate licenses. So she was doing all this other extracurricular in business. It looks like she was very, very ambitious. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people have all of that, but she was very, very ambitious. And what we knew on the TV show is that her now ex-husband had a food truck. What we ended up finding out about him later is a little different. But the way Destiny ends up landing the LAMH role, which I'm sure felt like it was answering her dreams, you know what I'm saying, if she wanted to be in the movies. She said that a producer had walked over to her at an event. It sounds like Melody and Martell was always throwing some sort of get-together party, event, you name it. Someone saw Destiny across the room, walked over to her, a producer walked over to her and said, you should be a star, because they thought she was very, very pretty, and asked her for her information and if she wanted to be on the show. And Destiny answered yes. She responded yes, that she knew Melody and Martell, and that's how she got there. Hey, Erica, what's up, friend? Thank you for coming over and supporting. Anyway, after all of that, like I said, I'm sure for the majority of people, you would feel on cloud nine. You know what I'm saying? Like God is answering your prayers. You know what I mean? But things happened. Life happens to you sometimes. And for Destiny, it happened by way of marriage. She's really started feeling life, even though she's shared with us that she's had some hard experiences throughout her growing up. She said that her mother was on drugs. This is something that she's openly talked about. Her mother was on drugs. She was put into a group home at an early age, her and her brother. Then her and her brother were split. Destiny ended up living with her father out in Huntsville after actually living in Detroit. I think she was living with her grandmother, and then her father came and got her and took her to Huntsville. But that separated her from the brother that she grew up with, or the only brother she knew. And then her brother ends up passing away to violence, some sort of street violence. And I guess her and her mother's relationship has always been estranged because she was out there. She was on drugs, as what she ended up saying. Anyway, come on in, guys. But with all of that, there's a place, especially when you're younger, that you're really trying to follow your dreams and you want certain things to happen in your life and you try to chase after your dreams and your goals. I'm sure that this felt like the picture that you would want, right? You got this fiance. The fiance seems like he has a good job and things going for him. She had a couple of things that she was trying to do. And then she came on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. She gets married. She has a baby, again. All things feel like it's working in her favor because she said that she had gotten pregnant a couple of times prior to the child that she currently has. And she said she wasn't able to keep him, that she ended up miscarrying. So there was a whole lot of stuff, lots of hills and valleys in Destiny's life, for sure. Lots of hills and valleys in Destiny's life. But the marriage seemed to be what that really sent Destiny through some hard times. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Okay. So we are following the money. All right. Come on in, come on in, come on in. So it was presumed by social media anyway that her ex-husband is the one who had all the money and stability. Like I said, Destiny had a couple of things going on for her prior to getting married, and then we'll talk about it. But he was the one who was presumed to have everything. He had graduated from a very prestigious school, Westminster. That's a very, very prestigious, right? That means that he has a lot of contacts, a lot of people that he knows, okay, that could get shit done. Now, I know I've heard a lot of people say that Martell has contacts. He doesn't have shit compared to LB. LB got contacts for real, if he did graduate from, come on in, welcome, 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 if he graduated from that school. I've heard people say that they can make phone calls to make people disappear. I'm not kidding. But that is a very prestigious school, and the purpose for going is so that you can keep lifelong contacts, judges, policemen, people that you know that can help you out of things. Okay. So she was marrying someone who had a lot of power behind the scenes, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put that out there. For most people, that's what they say. He also worked at one of the largest companies in the state of Alabama, which is NASA. I don't know what his position is there, but he works there. And a lot of people, again, people that know, that I've heard on social media, they make it seem like it is a huge deal wherever he is. And he also was an entrepreneur with a food truck that apparently a lot of the rich and famous is aware of. So people, the who's who of people, radio personalities, actors, actresses, musicians, they have eaten here. And he has pictures of himself with these people all over his IG. So he's no slouch by far. Come on in, welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, just to give you an idea of what this would feel like, because that's really overwhelming, right? But with even all of that, Destiny has shared some things about their marriage and him in an interview that suggested that he's also very, very frugal. Maybe that's the word. He's a little frugal. And it seemed to have gotten them purse strings tightened up, especially after marriage. Everything seemed to have gotten a little tight. But Destiny said when they were in the courting stage and the engagement stage that he wined her, dined her, bought her a lot of expensive gifts and things like that. It was just after marriage that she said there was a switch up. Okay, I'm just sharing with y'all the story that I heard. I'm putting all the pieces together. Destiny said that she, after they get married, looked like a beautiful wedding. I saw pictures of it online. And they actually got married at the, did I say that right? You remember that? I'm not sure if I said that right. But hold on one second. Hold on. I want to make sure I got that right. Okay, sorry about that. I think I said that wrong. It was West Point. West Point. Now I think I said something like Westminster, Maryland. I think I had that in my head from from a report I did earlier. It's West Point, okay? But yeah, y'all saw that wedding. That wedding was the bomb.com. To get married there is a privilege. It's a privilege. So just so you know how high that is, you know what I'm saying? But she said that after marriage, things went a little left. Now, I do want to also point this out because, like I said, a lot of people were sharing that he was the one, like the breadwinner, and had a lot of things going on. I think Destiny was very ambitious because she had a lot of things going on too. She was juggling a lot. But she had made the comment that they had decided as a couple that after marriage, she would continue to live in Tennessee and then go and do the IVF treatment for free or not for free, but under her insurance. So she had been working there. She's paying into those benefits. And then the benefits that they had for her job allowed her to do fertility treatment for free. They had made a decision as a couple that they would live apart. I'm assuming he would stay in Huntsville. She would stay in Tennessee until she finished her treatments. And I thought that was just, I was kind of shocked because, you know, when people get married, you're just expecting them to live together and be together. Now, when she said that, I was like, damn, he really is a little frugal, because I would have thought, you know, come on, child, just come back and live with me. But she had said that was just their relationship. They were used to living apart. Because they had a long distance relationship. They were used to living apart, but she said the baby was something they knew they wanted to do, and she wanted to get it out, you know, right away. So she tried to do it. Who does that? Chronic. I asked the same question. I literally said, oh my goodness. But then when I started writing everything out, I went, that was a big sacrifice to make that early in your relationship. Now, they didn't do it because she ended up getting pregnant naturally. But even then, just for me, maybe it's hindsight is 2020 when people are talking about things. I was like, that's my first red flag, because I wouldn't think that would be okay. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. At this point, this is what they have decided to do. And she said that she didn't have to go through the treatments at all because they got pregnant naturally. And she said, but because of her history with pregnancy, she was kind of scared when she gets to the doctor and they start, you know, telling her about the stages of what she's going to go through next. She said that she gets a message that this one is a boy and he is strong and you don't have to worry about it. And so she's feeling good. Again, if just putting myself in her shoes, which is what my job is, on when I do these reports, I'm thinking everything has to feel amazing. You know what I'm saying? You get pregnant. I would think that all of this would feel like, oh my God, the universe is telling me that this is perfect. I'm getting pregnant on my own. I don't need IVF treatment. I get to go and be with my husband right away. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff, like I said, she's marrying into, I'm going to guess that the family is like a pillar in the community. They got this name. And you want to be in the movies, you want to do things on television, you get offered a job on TV. The first night out, somebody sees you and you're offered a position. Child. Anyway, Destiny Ann and her husband were on that show. So we're going to get there, y'all. That man was still in jail. There's a lot of stuff that people did not tell correctly. I don't know. We'll get there. Anyway, it seemed like an interesting decision that she was going to just stay in Tennessee. However, like I said, she got pregnant naturally, and now she is on her way down to Huntsville. She said, hell, now's the time. You know what I'm saying? She's feeling good. She quits her job in Tennessee. No longer working there, don't have the benefits. She does have her real estate license and she's on the TV show. But Destiny says there's a switch up once she is, you know, moved into the house. And the switch up is that LB, is asking her to pay 50% of the household bills. So what she thought was that she would get there and that he was going to take care of all of the bills, and that, the stuff that she was doing was going to just be for her. She said no, that he was asking her right up front, you're here, let's get this shit popping. This is what you owe. Here's your tab. You know what I'm saying? Pay your way. And she said that she found that to be shocking. So there you have it. Anyway, if that wasn't enough, Destiny ends up going to, I guess, a beauty store that is in the Huntsville area. She said it's a store that everybody goes to. And before she gets to walk out the door good, she's accused of stealing. She actually tells this story in a local news report that happened in Huntsville a few years back. But she said, I'm accused of stealing. I'm told to dump out everything in my purse, my pockets. I had to pull them out like rabbit ears. They had to pat her down, whatever the process is, to make sure that what they thought she took, she did not take. And she said, I was so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. It was false. She was not found guilty of stealing. They let her go from the store. There's no problem. But that is so infuriating to her that she said, I decided to open up my own beauty store. This is how Madani is birthed. She said, I wanted to open up my own beauty store to compete with this beauty store because more of us need to own the store, is how she put it. More of us need to own the store, these types of stores. We're buying it. I forgot what percentage, Black people are of buying beauty products, but it's the majority of our dollars, the majority of the dollars that goes into the beauty industry. But she said, I'm opening up my own shop. Now, I think she might have just, moved too quick. Because there wasn't a whole lot of research put into it, but she had some savings and some other stuff, and she ends up leasing a space that required a build out. So someone had to go in and put the walls up and the shelves and all that shit. But she leased a space, and usually they make those spaces very enticing. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, oh, wow, it's not going to cost me a thing. You know what I'm saying? But the build out process does cost. And if you're not getting some sort of stipend from the landlords, it can get fairly expensive. But Destiny is pregnant. Like I said, I'm assuming that ambition is kind of moving her along, because some of the choices that she made were just, you know what I'm saying? If somebody could have talked to her ahead of time, you might have been able to talk her down, because that's the type of shit you shouldn't do. Spend up your savings and all of that. But anyway, she ends up buying this store, and out of nowhere, we know COVID hits. COVID hits and it shuts down everything. So I would think, again, maybe hindsight is 2020, because this has never happened before, or in our lifetimes within the country, that when everything shuts down, it's literally halting business. Now, she didn't say any of this, so I don't know if she did do it, but my first thought would have been to ask if I could get out of the lease, because once you get into a lease like that and everything shuts down, money's just going out the door at that point. I don't know if they would have done it, but it was a possibility. Come on in. Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button and share the video. But she's not let out of the lease, because I remember she had a scene with Tisha where Tisha actually tries to, warn her and said, Destiny, I don't think it's a good idea. I think you should just abandon this entire store thing, because the landlords are giving you the blues. They're not giving you the money that you need to, develop the space. This is a bad idea altogether. Get rid of it. But Destiny was just determined to open the store, and we'll get there for reasons why in a minute. But while all of this is happening, COVID, she's still paying out this lease. She's spending all of her savings. She said she's draining her savings between helping pay the household bills and what's going on with the lease. Things are also going south in her marriage. She's pregnant, and this is the first time she's carrying this baby, not miscarrying. And she said, oh my God, like literally everything is blowing up. Everything is blowing up. This is a cautionary tale for people. You got to start listening to these stories all the way through so that you can make decisions for yourself if you are some young people out there finding yourself in this situation. But Destiny's marriage goes south. Now, it looks like there's some trust issues in the household, some serious trust issues in the household. And Destiny is trying to fight, according to what she was saying, to save her marriage, right? It's embarrassing as hell to have this huge wedding in another state. People have traveled for miles to come and see you say your I do's. And now all of a sudden, things have gone completely south in your household. You're pregnant, you're jobless, you don't have any damn money coming in, everything's going out the door. She's nervous as hell about what's going to happen to her next. And she is trying to keep this marriage together because she's afraid of whatever the outcome is going to be, including possibly losing the baby because it has happened to her before in the past. But personally, I think she would have probably fared better if she would have took whatever she had in that account and just put it into an apartment. Going ahead and get out of there, child. This is a warning to everybody. First time married, if this type of shit is happening early on, one of y'all got to leave the house. She said she did not leave the house. She said it was COVID that kind of, I guess, restricted her a little bit. She wasn't able to leave the house. Everybody was ordered to stay in place. People weren't renting, I guess, and people who were renting, they didn't have to move, and some of them didn't have to pay rent. So she locks herself into a room in the house. She said somewhere upstairs into the house because the threat that she could lose her baby was very real. The stress was that heavy for her. And so this is how she's living out her pregnancy early in her marriage. This is all the shit that's happening. And financially, she ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Financially, she doesn't have it. So a lot of people, like I said, there's trust issues clearly in the marriage. What Destiny actually says on an interview or in an interview is that she was emotionally cheating, not physically cheating. But I guess things were happening that should not have been happening. She was having conversations and he found out about it. Whether he read her text messages or overheard a phone call, something happened that made him not trust her. And so she's trying to fight to keep her position. Also, his family doesn't like her. So she got, listen, the entire situation is effed up. The entire situation is effed up. She wasn't winning anything. But at this point, this is where she is. She's big and pregnant. She's locking herself in the rooms. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? On how to get out of it. And she can't really leave the space because we are in COVID. Anyway, she ends up having the baby. She gives birth at the hospital. According to what she said on the reunion stage, and y'all can go back and listen, she said that she actually delivers a baby boy. And she suffered some sort of complication that sent her into a surgery or some sort of procedure after she gives birth. But at the same time, her husband, her then husband, is asking for a paternity test. This is what is shared on the reunion stage. He asked me for a paternity test. They give it to him. He asked the hospital to do it. Y'all can put two and two together. I know there has been a lot of stories. I think Sunny may have helped, if not told the story. She said something about it, that Martell and Moses were also asked to take paternity tests. Child, that is the biggest lie. I don't care. I'm still standing on that. That's a lie. And it was because after I had watched that scene, Melody and Martell were still friends with both LaBerrick and Destiny. If y'all go back and watch the show, the very next season, LaBerrick is still Martell's friend. He's talking to they're like friends on social media. He's supporting Martell with some of the shit that he's doing outside. Same with Melody. Melody was giving Destiny money. That entire thing was such a fib. I don't know why I don't know why she said that or encouraged people to think it. She did say it because she put up the whole Maury Povich, who's the father shit. So I do know she said that. But anyway, child, I hope that she paid back the devil or whoever made her do that. That was a horrible thing to do over that child. So I don't know. I believe that there was something that was either seen on a text message or overheard on the phone. Something was said or overheard that created a trust issue. So anyway, Destiny said that she was trying to figure out the next step. She continued to stay on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And Melody and Destiny were still filming. This is where things started getting tense for the two of them, but they were still filming together and still calling each other friend in that particular season. Same for Martell. Destiny was going over, and if I am not mistaken, I believe Carlos King definitely confirmed on one of his interviews with Destiny that both Destiny and LB were invited back to film for that next season following Destiny getting divorced. But LB wanted the producers to fire Destiny. He said, Martell is my friend. This bitch can kick rocks. I don't care. She shouldn't be here. And they said to him, we don't really have you on, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really make a staple for himself, a name for himself on the show. And so they basically said, no, we're going to choose Destiny. And they took him off. They said, if you're not willing to film where we tell you to film or with who we tell you to film with, then you can't be barking orders over here, buddy. So they ended up taking him off the show and they kept Destiny on the show. So y'all could go back and watch all of that. They were all interacting together. That entire Martell took a paternity test was actually BS. That was BS, okay? Didn't happen. For 2 years, at least 2 years, maybe more, Martell and LeBerick were still great friends. That's not something that would happen if he thought that his bestie from a Head Start was sleeping with his wife. No, absolutely the F not. Okay. But yeah, anyway, spread that tea because somebody might go to hell for that one. But anyway, Destiny is going through it. She said, listen, LeBerick filed for divorce on her 3 effing times. Right after she gives birth, he filed for divorce. Then he, I guess, took it off the table. They said they was going to try to work it out. Then he had her ass served again while she was inside the house. And then I guess they tried to figure out a way to work it out another time. And then he went and secretly filed for divorce. She didn't even know this time. He secretly filed for divorce and requested custody of their son, the son that they shared together. Now, while all that is going on, I guess Destiny's depressed or whatever the hell she's doing, but she's not paying attention to the mail that's coming in that said, yeah, girl, not only has he filed for divorce, but he was granted, at least temporarily, he was granted full custody of their son. And when Destiny goes and finally, finds the energy to go down to the courthouse and respond to the divorce order, to the divorce request, she's there with her father, who was there for emotional support. And the lady who's doing her paperwork said, girl, he has full custody already. He has everything. And so she is just breaking down. She's going through all these hysterics in real time. Okay. And she doesn't know what the F to do. Because like I said, this is real good to know for women when you are quitting jobs in marriages, especially when those marriages are fresh and new and you don't have no money coming in. You got to be able to protect yourself because his money will be his money in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. Thank you. Hit that like button and share the video. Hit the like button and share the video. Well, I don't know who said what, but both of them are lies, period. Once the test was confirmed at the hospital, there's no extra taking of tests, okay? But she was, and I know I heard her on somebody's page when they were making the comment that Martell and it was Martell and 2 people were taking the test because y'all had Destiny all over the place with this baby. And I kept saying, why would anybody take another test? Child, that was Odd to me. But I'm not taking that back. I know what I heard. She either she definitely supported it. She definitely gave it legs. Definitely gave it legs for sure. Because it was just crazy that she would say it at all. But after all of that, y'all, when she is finally realizing he took custody of the baby, everything, she has to fight back from behind. Okay. And this is where we find out that, like I said, money's low. There's threats to turn off her utilities. She is applying for welfare because she can't afford anything in the house. What else did she say? She's on the verge of bankruptcy because she can't pay for shit. So everything is going left for her. And we find out that she gets a little help from Melody on the show. Now, I'm only bringing this up because it's a part of some other shit that's about to unfold. But Melody ends up going over to her house one day, seeing a pink slip to turn off the utility bills with this newborn baby in the house. And she decides to cash app her a few $1,000s. Okay, girl, get yourself together. You know, I'm sorry that this is going on. Hit the like button, share the video, please and thank you. I'm sorry this is going on with you. And even with that, it didn't stop there. Melody also connects Destiny with somebody in business because Destiny thinks that whoever this person is, Mel connected her to, is going to really offer her a leg up. This is something that she believes she needed in order to get to the other side of her issues, the other side of her problems. Okay. So that all happens, and then Melody and Destiny ends up falling out. After Destiny gets this friend, or it's a friend of Melody's, it's definitely a connection of Melody's. After this happens, I guess the reunion happens, and from what we could all see, Destiny and Melody completely fall out. And the reason for the fallout is that Melody overhears Destiny and Tisha talking about her in their hotel room. So they're all sharing the same hotel. Melody said she could hear them. She heard the conversation, and she ends up, being pissed off. Melody has this conversation with Kimmy. And Kimmy says, "What did you hear?" And Melody's response to her was something that had to do with me being a Scorpio. And Kimmy's eyes open as wide as saucers. We, the audience, never get to hear what that secret is, but we do know that was the breakdown of the friendship. Okay. But the audience never gets to tell, or never gets to know what the secret is. Everybody keeps it quiet. Everybody covers this secret. No one says it. Long story short, Destiny gets a call from whoever the contact is. Destiny gets a call from this connect, and they tell her, "I'm very sorry, but I can't move forward with whatever the business thing that they were going to do together." And this causes a snowstorm. This is literally the avalanche that starts rolling on social media with Destiny and Melody, and also with Destiny's finances, because child, every little thing that could come out started coming out. Okay. But once that happens, Destiny goes live, or she posted something on her social media where she said, she calls Melody out. And she said, "God damn it." You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew I needed this shit, and you snatched this from me. You didn't help me with whatever her conversation is. And Melody, whatever the help that was offered, Melody ends up going live with the connect. She goes live with the connect. And Melody, this is hilarious. It's hilarious now in hindsight. But Melody said, I didn't have anything to do with that shit. However, you know what I'm saying? We know. She said, the friend took it off the table. And at the end of the day, that's my motherfucking friend. Just like anybody would do. I don't care who you are in life. I don't care. if you have a friend that can help somebody out and you felt like that's the person's not my friend anymore, you're going to get that phone call that says, child, abort motherfucking mission. Okay. Come on in, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hit the like button and share the video. Melody said, the friend ends up saying, I saw all the shit that was going down on social media and I just made a decision to pull out because I'm not in this messy stuff. I don't appreciate it, whatever the case may be. Anyway, Destiny was hurt. Okay. She was hurt. That's when we get this scene. We get a meetup between Destiny and Melody at that restaurant. I think that's when Melody's t-shirt business took off. Because they meet up and they're supposed to talk about what happened, but they never get the shit out. Like nothing happens. It is the most crazy conversation. Melody showing Destiny text messages. Like, I tried to call you. I tried to reach you. You didn't reach out to me. And Destiny keeps saying, you know what you did. You know what you did. And anyway, long story short, Melody gets up and she makes a comment. I got money to make, not friends to fake. And that was it. That was the bottom line. Okay. She walked out the door. Destiny couldn't articulate sentences from that day forward. Everything that came out of her mouth just felt like fire. You feel me? Like she was just cussing and fussing. You could tell what's a good times line. She was scrapping and fucking surviving from that point forward. Scrapping and surviving. Okay. Anyway, Destiny's energy gets really thick and heavy on the show. Not just on the show, though, on the show, on social media, on everything. And again, hindsight is 2020, because when you were looking at it in real time, I don't think that most people were able to connect the dots. I wasn't, because Destiny's story was broken up and it was all over the place. So it was really hard to follow. In hindsight, though, when all of these rugs and all of this shit is being snatched from you and you don't know where your next meal is coming from, like I told y'all at the beginning, money decides if and when you eat, okay? And not everybody understands that, or not everybody's had experience with that. But for her, she was losing her shit. She didn't know what to do, right? You got a baby to feed, you got a mouth to feed, you can't pay your bills, you got a legal team that you can't pay for, you got lawyers you can't pay for, you don't know if your baby's going to be taken, if you're going to get to see him again. There's so much shit that's going on. And then on top of all of that, you have an audience, a social media audience that is not empathetic to your story. So you're getting hate left and right. And like I said, when you go from how this story started, where I'm sure she was on cloud 9 thinking that all of her dreams came true, to where it gets here, you would probably want to take yourself off the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like everything has to feel like the worst fucking thing that could possibly happen to you. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This story is about following Destiny's money. Okay. So I'm sharing the story of how she got to where we are today. All right. So, anyway, while she's on Love and Marriage Huntsville, because she does get to keep her position on that show, her ex-husband is removed. Destiny gets to stay and film. Come on in. Welcome to the chat. Hit the like button and share the video, please. Become a subscriber if you are not already. So she is getting a check from Love and Marriage Huntsville, but unfortunately for her, she's not allowed to talk. So outside of what she said on the reunion stage when she shared that her ex-husband had asked for the paternity test, and she had an emergency surgery or procedure that she had to do. That was pretty much all she could say on the show. The next time we have a scene where Destiny's kind of being asked to say something, there's a scene with Melody where Melody is saying something like, Destiny, I didn't know you got divorced or whatever. And she kind of goes after Melody in the scene where she's like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, Martell, I'm not. She starts naming off the children. I'm not this. Don't do that to me. We, the audience, did not know there was a gag order in place. I assure you, everybody on the show, including producers and Carlos King, knew what was going on because they were asked on set. They were asked on set, and it's still there on the episode. Do you know what happened between Destiny and her husband? And they all just went, nope. Nope. But you can tell they're lying. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows, just no one talks about it. Destiny is completely covered, or LB is completely covered where that was concerned until Sonny shows up on the scene. Okay. But outside of that, nobody talks about it to this day. To this day. But Destiny was very mean-spirited. Yes. I'm going to tell you, if I did not know where my money was coming from, I would definitely be mean-spirited. I would definitely be mean-spirited. I think there are some people that's watching who's probably tried to figure out how to eat, how to keep the lights on, probably sitting in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in the dark, no gas money, no shit. I promise you, the quickest way to get angry is to be broke. The quickest way to get angry is to be broke. Period. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Everything is happening in the public's eye, and you have to figure out how to live your life in a public eye without knowing what's going to happen to you next. That's a fact. But social media is dragging the hell out of Destiny. We're watching her on the show. She's becoming more and more unlikable. And the crazy part is, like I said in the beginning, I'm sure it all felt like a dream because Destiny was one of the favorites on this show. So much of a favorite that when her and Melody's friendship ends up breaking down on TV and social media, the audience wasn't able to accept it. People were begging Melody and Destiny to figure out a way to work it out. Nobody knew the reasons why. They just wanted it to be fixed. Y'all know that. Y'all know that to be true. I kept saying this is some crazy shit. I tried to tell the story the way I saw it. It was crazy as hell to me, child. But anyway, in order for Destiny to be okay, to get some money in her pocket, there were a few people that I guess reached out to her and tried to help her. People who were watching the show, people who might have known people through other people, they started reaching out to her. And I know that I saw her in some online commercials. She was doing sponsorships. She became a spokesperson for a medical office, like a OBGYN. She was starting to get odd jobs here and there, and she was trying to put her money into the store because she was still hoping that that would be her saving grace. You know what I'm saying? So she was still trying to build out that store, even though people had told her, at least Tisha told her on the show, abandon this idea. It's never going to work. But she was still putting everything she could into all of these pots, trying to get it to where it would be profitable for her. Her divorce is finalized though. And in this divorce, she is granted no child support, no spousal support, and she gets to live in the house for 1 year. And I'm assuming that this is a house that her ex had to continue to pay the mortgage on. However, after the year was up, if the house was not refinanced into her name only, then the house would be sold. That was a part of her decree. So she was trying to figure out how to get this house financed in her name, but she could not. And I know during COVID, the finance rate on houses had dropped to the lowest it had ever been. You know what I'm saying? So her shit was completely toast. She couldn't figure out how to get any money, not even from the bank. So nothing was helping her. And I think it all had to do with the fact that she owned that lease. I think that lease interfered with her or her ability to make things profitable. In fact, I will go as far as to say, she thought that if she could get the store up and running, and that the store was making money, that she could use the store to help her get a interest rate or help her get the house refinanced. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because she should have got that store out of there, but she wasn't able to. Anyway, still no breaks for Destiny. Moving forward, she's still broke. She's still broke. And her ex are in court damn near every month. It seems like they were going to court at least every 2 to 3 months. They were in court fighting something about the child, saying that somebody didn't get something done, saying that something didn't happen with the medical for the child. Everything was going left and haywire. Everything. Now we are at a place where she finally gets Madani billed out. And lo and behold, this is how you know that you have to really stop and think about shit. Because sometimes you're moving fast ahead with what you think you want, but you're not working out all the little details. Like if you don't have money to pay your utilities or, cover your just basic necessities for yourself and your child, you're not going to have operating expenses for your business. You're not going to have cash to pay employees. You're not going to have money to buy supplies from vendors, right? And that was Destiny's situation. She didn't have money for employees. She didn't have money for vendors. So now she has to figure out how to get supplies on her shelf. And she is literally robbing Peter to pay Paul. She is begging for help however she can get it. She even begged Stormy Steele, okay? She makes this appeal. Stormy Steele is in the neighborhood. Her dad had went to Stormy and said, is it okay if I fish on your property? I guess there's a pond or a lake there. Stormy says yes. So Destiny feels like this is an open door. And she ends up reaching out to Stormy and saying, hey, is it possible for you to give me some of your products so that I can put it on my shelves? Because I got a store with no products, right? I got a store with nothing to put on my shelves. And Stormy says, here's the name of my manager. She's the person who handles all of this, right? I'm new in this business. However, I hired someone to help me with this type of shit because when I was doing it all by myself, I bumped my head enough times to know I'm not bumping my head no more. So going ahead and reach out to her. Go ahead and reach out to her and see what she tells you. So when Destiny reaches out to Stormy's manager says no. She said, no, the amount of inventory that you are requesting, we don't handle. So if you only need 50 bottles, we can't do it for you. We won't sell less than 500 bottles or 1,000 bottles or whatever the inventory is, because you have to set it up in your system. So she said, if that can't happen, okay, I'm gonna put this comment up here because this is true. I mean, it simply is. I understand it. But Vanessa said that she said, you said it right. I lived off of $245 a month. I was very angry at the world. So mean, and didn't think that that you can beat me. It was like I was Superman. Bingo. At his finest. So I understand, but I know God. Yeah, if you want to meet somebody who believes that they can whoop everybody's ass, it's a poor person. It's a person who doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. You said it exactly right. You said it exactly right. Period. And I don't mean, you know what I'm saying? I got a savings account. I mean, you ain't got shit. You have nothing. You have nothing, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow that can either help you or maybe not help you. But anyway, Stormy's manager tells Destiny no. And Destiny's pissed because, like I said, every door that she thinks she can knock on, not only is they closing it in her face, but they are literally kicking her. They are kicking her in the back because they're sharing the story. They're sharing the story on social media. So the way we find out that Destiny is told no, along with some other shit, is Stormy Steele ends up sharing on Facebook. I know that Stormy and Destiny are cool now, so hopefully this story don't mess shit up. I'm just telling y'all what I remember. Stormy still ends up sharing on Facebook that she thought that Destiny, or at least her manager thought, let me put it this way, her manager thought that Destiny might have been scamming, because she said Destiny had said something about giving a sponsorship, and that in order to move forward with the sponsorship, Stormy would have to pay maybe like $2,500. And then whatever the deliverables were for the sponsorship, her manager said this doesn't equal the deliverables, right? So she's like, this girl ain't right. I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but under no circumstances are we moving forward with this deal. Not to mention the fact I'm not giving her any product or inventory. I don't give a damn where her dad fishes on the property. We're out. Now, I'm saying all that to say, because we found out later that Stormy Steele's manager was scheming and scamming her, and she ended up going broke because of the manager. But at the time, I guess the manager said, only one of us can steal, child. And I'm going to choose myself. I choose me. I'm taking Destiny off. I'm only choosing me to steal. Okay? Anyway, moving forward. So Destiny, Stormy ends up telling that story online, which feeds into a whole lot of shit that is being sprawled across social media about Destiny. And all it felt like is Destiny was getting hit over the head with bats and hammers and you name it. Destiny couldn't win for losing. She was losing at every turn, every turn. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, keep hitting the like button. Hitting the like button, everybody. Please and thank you. Thank you to everybody who's over here in the chat, all the mods. Share the video, you guys. This is Follow the Money for Destiny. We're just basically, I'm trying to give y'all some stories and some background about what would have happened. And then we're also following her financial journey. Things seem to get really effed up once Destiny got married. She abandoned her job. Sometimes y'all got to keep them fucking jobs until y'all know for sure. But Destiny ends up getting dragged for that, right? Dragged for that. And then not only is she getting dragged for not being able to put product on her shelves, she's getting dragged for not being able to keep employees. The employees are dragging her. I guess when she did hire one or two people, they ended up going live and they ended up posting things on social media, sending them to bloggers saying that they weren't getting paid by Destiny. Destiny has this newborn. She's not working at the store regularly like she should be because she's trying to figure out how to keep shit going outside of the store. It was really just a catch-22 all the way around. There's no way that she was going to be able to survive it, period. And then I guess when fans were trying to help out or at least go visit the store was closed the majority of the time. So people were posting things like, well, the office hours are from 8 to 6. I went there at 2 p.m., 8 a.m. There was nobody there. There was no surviving the story that was coming out about Destiny, just no surviving it. So anyway, now we've moved on from that part. And it looks like Destiny is going to she's in a place where she's just shut down. That's the best way to explain it. When you watch the show, you know that she is shut down. When people are trying to ask her questions, she shuts all the way down. I think she had two reopenings on, or two openings on the TV show, maybe a soft launch and then the real opening. She was so shut down with everything. People were just tired of her. Nobody could stand her. Everybody wanted her to go away. They were begging for her to go away. Her reputation is complete dog poo at this point. And she decides that she's going to spin the block to Moses, maybe to help her feel better. I don't know. Maybe he was breaking her off a little change, but she decides to spin the block and start dating him. And that is still causing a lot of drama and problems for her outside of her, even with her ex. Even then, all of that shit was a problem. And again, there was just no way to win it. So now we are at the place where Destiny is being forced out of her home. She's being forced out of her home. The home is up for sale. I think Chris Fletcher had the listing, and then it was pulled from Chris Fletcher. It was given to someone else. Thank you, Chronic. I appreciate you. It was pulled and given to someone else because there was problems with it. But Destiny is being accused because she has no place to go. Destiny is being accused of interfering with the sale of the home. I guess there are people who are interested in it, and Destiny is doing all kinds of shit to keep the house, because I guess she will be homeless if she's kicked out of there. And it goes to court. The ex-husband is like, listen, I'm tired of paying for this fucking house. I want her out of it. And she's interfering, and I can prove it. And the judge agrees and says, you got one more time to interfere with the sale of this home, and I will have you arrested for contempt. You will be jailed for contempt. That is how bad things got. But again, I'm sharing with y'all, she was definitely empty pockets, no money. We got to stop pretending like everybody's walking around rich. Nobody's walking around rich. You know what I'm saying? It's a handful of people compared to the rest of the world. And Destiny happened to have been one of those people. Okay. So now she is forced to let that home be sold by the judge because her husband said, this is what you're doing. Her ex-husband, my bad. Ex-husband said, I know what you're doing. And she's threatened. Her freedom is being threatened. And Destiny files for bankruptcy. Okay. Destiny ends up filing for bankruptcy to try to, I don't know, maybe save some of the income that is coming from the proceeds of the home sale. Because the one thing that the divorce attorney or divorce judge did allow to happen is for Destiny to receive 50% of the home sale. So that would have worked in her benefit to get a little extra money. But she files for bankruptcy. She's like, I need money from somewhere, right? So she files for bankruptcy. And when she does, people know that when you have those type of judgments, that still has to go through the bankruptcy court. So the bankruptcy court know there's money coming, and there's certain things that may not go into bankruptcy. And that means that whatever proceeds you have, it gets paid from that. You know what I'm saying? Those debts get paid from that home sale. And it did. It left Destiny at zero. She had to pay the lease because she loses the brick and mortar for Madani. She can't afford it. It shuts down. But she has a contract that says that she's going to pay the lease for whatever many months or years that was owed. And so the landlords for that space said, put me in, coach. I want my money. They asked for their money, and they asked for it to come out of the home sale. I think there was medical debts that was asked to come out of the home sale and some other stuff, right? Whatever she could put in, she put in. And the judge literally said 50% for the ex-husband and 0 for you. They took it all. So she, again, I mean, when I was just looking at stuff, I was like, that's a lot of bad luck to happen to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Did y'all watch that Tyler Perry movie on Netflix with Taraji P. Henson? It was like that. It was like every single moment of every day just felt like something new that you had to overcome. And that was what was going on with her. Something new that she had to overcome every single day. Legal fees, lawyers that she didn't pay, medical debt, the unpaid store lease, all of it. People that could get their piece of the pie out of those proceeds, they got them. So anyway, the judge is exhausted with Destiny at this point, and this is when a lot more stuff starts coming out, because some kind of way somebody was able to pull the physical documents, so they could see the transcript from the court orders that was happening. Thank you, Personality Speaking. Hit the damn like button, damn. Okay, when subscribers that aren't even mods are like begging y'all to hit the like button, which I appreciate, that tells me everything I need to know. Okay, so yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing, and I'm not here to shame. Even though we like to say this person's broke and this person's broke, I'm not here to shame. I'm saying that's some tough times to go through. That is hard times to go through, period. Okay. But she's still going through them. So all of that happened. And the judge is exhausted. You can tell when some of these reports started coming out and people reading the transcripts. The judge wasn't only exhausted with Destiny, but also with LB, like her ex-husband. She's exhausted with both of them. And he's keeping Destiny in court for whatever these things are, right? And so Destiny had been threatened with jail for interfering with the home, with the sale of the home. But then we get a break. We don't hear anything from Destiny. We get a break. And then all of a sudden, there's a report that Destiny is wanted by the local police in Huntsville or Madison County. And it was a Crime Stoppers report. Okay. So after the sale of this home, I guess whatever utility company was like, can I get paid? And it was, I guess they tapped on LeBeric's portion of the proceeds to get paid. They wanted him to pay this debt. Allegedly, this is what came out. And so now Destiny has a warrant for her arrest because her ex-husband said, not on my watch, bitch. Okay. You're going to jail for this. So he files a criminal report against Destiny that has her wanted on Crime Stoppers, which I've never seen before. So somebody knew somebody, I don't care what y'all say, somebody knew somebody to put her face on Crime Stoppers, because that's not even real. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have just picked her ass up, but they put this warrant out and Destiny has to turn herself in, right? She gets the call that she's on Crime Stoppers. She's losing her mind. And she drives herself on down to the courthouse and she takes her licks, and it is what it is. Ain't shit you can do about it. You got to take it on the chin and keep it punching. And that's what she did. It literally came out that the charges were retracted for whatever the reasons were at the time. Destiny was trying to say she was innocent. I'm innocent. It didn't happen. And the charges were pulled back for some reason. But then it was put on her again, the same exact situation. And I don't know if it was just filed wrong before, but y'all remember Destiny was wearing a shirt that said innocent. It had her face on it and it said innocent. Right after she said she was innocent, right after she put that shirt on and said she was innocent, she got popped and put back in the pokey again for the same shit, for the same shit. And this time, all of that got pushed to their family court cases, which there are many, apparently. Just date after date after date after date. They have been in court for a long time. But while she's there this time, and I already told y'all that the judge was exhausted with both of them, LB is saying, listen, she's in contempt. These are the things that she's doing. This is what happened when we tried to sell the home. This is the debt for that. Also, she and I made an agreement. I called it a gag order. She said it wasn't, but whatever it is, she's not allowed to talk about him. And anytime she does, whether it's on the TV show, it doesn't even have to be, she doesn't even have to say his name. If she speaks about their marriage, it looks like, or make reference to it, that could get her a fine, a $2,500 fine. So she got popped for at least 5 times, maybe. Altogether, all of the stuff that she was being charged with, it was an upwards of damn near $20,000. And he basically said, the judge basically says to her, you got 3 months or 90 days to pay it. And if you don't pay it, we're about to pay it out your freedom. We're going to put you in jail, and you're still going to owe the debt, but you're going to go to jail too. Okay. So jail doesn't erase the debt, by the way. She still would owe it. She's just going to go to jail first. And the jail sentence was 90 days. You got 90 days to pay it. I think it was 90 days. If it wasn't 90, it was 30. And then 90 days in jail. Okay. Martell only had to do 30 days in jail if that's what he chose to do. They only gave him 30. Destiny had 90 days in jail. And the judge basically said, I'm so sick and tired of this shit. Okay. I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm tired of hearing y'all. I'm tired of, I know more about you than I know about my own family. I need y'all to figure this shit out. Okay. But she tried to reprimand both of them. And that was the ultimatum she had given for Destiny. Destiny ended up stalling it out. Okay. She said she wanted to, she did some sort of refiling to get out of it. And not to get out of it necessarily, but she was trying to, what is it called? I lost the language for it. Put it in the chat if y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all must be real intrigued, child. Because y'all are frozen in the chat. You guys are frozen in the chat. Like, you're just like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was pretty tough. So Destiny ends up trying to fight it. She tried to fight it. She countersues. That's what she did. Thank you, girl. Thank you. She appealed. Okay. She appeals it. She tries to, get the heat off her back. Okay. Get the man off her back. And that's where it looks like it stopped. Now, I don't think there has been any movement since. But after that situation, Destiny is she's just lost. There's no other way to say it at this point, right? She comes back to the show. She has a storyline that she can sink her teeth into, I guess. We'll say that. And this time it is with her ex, Moses, and her ex-manager, Sonny. And this offers Destiny a chance to share some of her story on the TV show and, get a couple of extra dollars in her pocket. Linda Gamble Chronic said, this never stopped Destiny from dating. What's the oldest profession in the Bible? Y'all got to keep up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling Destiny out for any of that stuff. Destiny actually says that she was celibate, okay? However, when you need to eat, you date. This is what women do. And even, I'm not even going to say women, because we got a bunch of sugar babies out there, men who are dating cougars left and right. Am I right? Who's paying them bills? Who is getting them PlayStations paid for, okay? Those trips on the beach. This is the way. It has been for a long time. Okay. Yes. Now I'm not saying that to be true for her situation, but I am saying we got to stop pretending like when women ain't hungry, they don't date. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop pretending this to be the same case for the young men and maybe some of the older men too. Look at Stevie J and what he did to Faith Evans over there, getting spousal support. Okay. period. That is what it is. But yeah, at this point, Destiny appears to be taking it one day at a time. She actually got a movie role. Not only is she still on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she seems to be doing better with getting her story out there. I have to say, I think that sometimes you have to drag all the way down to the bottom before you're able to, start talking up and speaking up for yourself. And I feel like she's did that this season. But she has a new movie deal that she actually talked about in last season, this past season. Okay. She filed bankruptcy when they sold the house, and she ended up appealing the case. So that's what I said. I said it's still in limbo at the moment that she appealed the case. But she did get out of going to jail when she was ordered to go to jail, because there was a whole countdown on Facebook. I was in the group where I saw people saying 29 days, 17 days before Destiny goes to jail, 6 days. I mean, people were rooting for this. People were rooting for this. But I am trying to humanize her story, because it's easy to talk about people when you don't have a full picture. It's easy to talk about people and drag them by the short and curlies and make it seem like they're just horrible people who deserve all the evil shit. But the truth of the matter is, you could find yourself in that situation tomorrow if someone, if you was wiped clean, you had no money in your pocket, no money in the bank, and you had kids to feed and all that shit. That happens all the time. So we just have to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. But that's where she is right now. So I am wrapping this story up. I have more stories, but this was the first live that I did. Typically, I do a pre-record and I put it out there. And this time I said I wasn't going to wait 2 hours to upload. I was just going to share it. I was hoping that you guys talk to me in the comments about stuff that y'all knew. But baby, when I tell y'all were enthralled in this story, y'all were enthralled in this story. These people repeatedly make bad decisions. Tell me, who do you know that makes really good decisions? Because we just watched Wendy Ofeso. Make a bad decision, allegedly, with her insurance claim. This happens all the time. Think about all the other TV shows. We put it on this one show, but think about all the other TV shows. PK and Dorit from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Who else? Yes, it is. It's life. Thank you, Chronic. My grandmother used to tell me this all the time, and I hear her call my name when I do these reviews or these conversations sometimes, because she was a really good storyteller, and she had the best laugh I ever heard in my life. She just made you sit there and listen, I swear to God. But anyway, yeah, it's called life. And we have no idea, especially with what's going on in this current administration in the United States. A lot of people are a hair away. Okay. The best of people are a hair away. You know what I mean? Teresa and Joe Giudice. Exactly. Who's the other one whose husband just went to jail earlier this month for stealing I feel like it was $87 million from a trust that was supposed to go to plane crash victims or the survivors of the plane crash victims. Tom Girardi, he went to prison. A lot of people. And the stuff that we're watching on this show is nowhere near that level. The stuff that we've been talking about is nowhere near that level. But yeah, the tables can turn. You are right. The tables can turn. Just yesterday, I did a story on the Attorney General of New York. The federal prosecutor for the government the first one, anyway, the one that we had 2 weeks ago before Trump replaced him, that one didn't even want to file charges. He said there's nothing here. But the Attorney General for New York, Letitia James, she has been put in a situation where she was indicted. She was indicted for mortgage fraud. That's the same thing Moses went to prison for, because he was falsifying records on mortgage loans. They said that she did the same thing. The attorney, or the federal prosecutor we had 2 weeks ago for the government, he said there's nothing there. Trump said, if you can't find nothing, I'll put somebody in who can find something. And they did. Okay. Or at least that's what they wanted us to think. I'm going to give y'all more. I promise y'all. Does he not care for his son? I teach my son, no matter how much he dislikes his child mother, to never stoop to her level. His decision attacking her, no matter what, his child is first. And this is their first child for him and first child for her. She had one of the scariest situations. It's scary. It's scary. I mean, like I said, she was already wiped out. It's wild how this shit is unfolding. And she really has a interesting story. She just can't tell it. She can't tell it. I don't know. There's some people who are very empathetic with Destiny. Y'all remember people were coming out and saying, please cut this woman a break. She can't take it mentally and emotionally. She's through, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all of it. She's through. Try to cut her a break. I remember people begging from the show for the audience to cut her a break, right? And I'm gonna throw myself in there, because I did some stories about her, because I was like, Destiny's getting on my motherfucking nerves. You know what I'm saying? But then the other day when I was writing it out, I was like, Jesus Christ. It started connecting for me in a way that I was like, this is sad. This is up and sad. And so I thought the best way for me to, put it out there and try to write it is to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it the way I saw it. Yes, he actually said it. He said that he is seeking retribution. Those were his words, on his enemies. But he's doing it politically, and this isn't supposed to be what we do here. So it's pretty scary. It's very scary times that we're living in. A lot of people fought and died to get us to a place where this type of shit should never happen. And overnight, for the last 2 times that he has served, it's happening exactly like that. Maybe she wasn't supposed to be married. You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing to James Comey. Correct. Actually, they were both served within the last 2 weeks. So yes, you're right. I mean, sometimes people see it for people, right? Sometimes you see it for them and sometimes you don't. Who do I think is to blame in the LB or Destiny? That is after researching and getting more details. So this is what I think. I have never been fond. I mean, I used to have a Facebook group where I was like, do y'all really, like, nobody knows LB? Like, why is everybody like rooting to the point of, when I find out that somebody can't tell their story or what happens to them, I freak out, because telling your story is a part of your healing. So if I can't talk to protect you, I don't think that things are as what people are making it out to be. And it's easy to say that she's a liar, but nobody has walked the walk that she has these last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've seen her lie, but people lie when they're desperate. Desperation and lying go hand to hand. But you can have everything together and be a liar. You know what I'm saying? You can have money out the yayo and be a liar. It's just that poor people don't get the same, they don't get the same grace as people who got money and connections. That's just a fact. It's always been that way. It's unfortunate, especially when people that look like you is being attacked by you, right? But poor people don't get the same grace that people with money and connections get. And he has a lot of money and connections, or at the very minimum, he has a lot of money. Or excuse me, a lot of connections. I don't know what his money is. I can only tell you where I thought he worked, but I think that he has a lot of connections. His name has been wrapped up in scandal plenty of times, though. So what has happened that you think that his name hasn't been wrapped in scandal? Putting your ex-wife's face on a Crime Stoppers post. Somebody did it. I don't know who. Somebody did it. That's scandal. That's still scandal. I think that people they create a soft cushion. They create a story for people. We don't know that to be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's still scandal. His name is said as much as her name on social media every single solitary day. Not to mention, he enjoys social media. He's on it too. I've seen him tell her, get the fuck off that social media page right now. Shut it down. Don't say nothing else. I've seen him say that. I appreciate the person who came into the comment and said that they had $245 and that they lost their mind, they lost their wits, they lost everything, because that's usually how it works. Y'all should watch all the TV shows, all the movies that ever showed you a person on their last leg. You ain't never seen them smiling and, happy. And isn't it a beautiful day that we're having? Usually they fussing, cussing, spitting bullets, the whole nine. I will knock them fuck in the head. Okay. There's just no happiness there. That's not how life works. That's just not how life works. It's good to say it ideally, but it isn't how it works. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's all. I have more for y'all. I want to do this as a weekly series, but I appreciate every single one of you who came over to join me today and help me. Hold on, child. I done lost my picture. And help me do my story today. I hope that I open up some things for her so that people will be like, oh, that was the reason. Oh, that was the reason. Ooh. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry about that, Georgia Peach. I hope everything is okay for you now. Yeah. Anyway, that's it, you guys. I appreciate y'all for coming over and hanging out with me today. Thank y'all so, so much. If you could hit the like button and share the video on your way out, please and thank you. Let me see if I can get my video up. Please and thank you. Also, follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. I had my Facebook and my IG links up, so make sure you are following me over there. All of y'all, every single one of you are appreciated. So thank y'all. Until we meet again, babes. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.